Hello everybody, this is Chromical018, and this is going to be my thoughts on 7 Deadly Sins Season 2, Episode 7. I figured I'd mix it up a little bit on uploading, because I noticed that when I uploaded episode 141 for my thoughts on Fairy Tail, I lost 2 subscribers, so I was down to 472, and then I ended up being back at 473, so I don't know. Maybe the one who unsubbed was a person who was trying to do sub for sub, and if so, I don't do that. So if you're watching this, like on Reddit, for example, or Twitter, whatever, and you're wanting me to do a sub for sub, you might as well not subscribe if you're gonna do that and you don't like the content. If you like the content and you want to subscribe, then go right on ahead. But just so you know, I don't do sub for sub because that's not gonna help your channel. It's gonna hurt it. Anyway. Well, you actually find out, and I actually realized this right before the opening, but Gother was responsible for Jian's memory loss, not the hit to the head. Yeah, during the last few episodes when it would show Jian's eyes glowing, that was Gother's work. He was erasing her memories essentially from that point to before she ended up joining the 7 Deadly Sins. So yeah, that's why she didn't recognize King or Elizabeth. And in this episode, we actually get to see her backstory on what her life was like before she joined the 7 Deadly Sins. And this is actually after she ended up, meeting King and all that. So yeah, that's why she's wearing the clothes she's wearing. Anyway, essentially back then, Deanne was not really a big fan of fighting. And we actually got to see another little giant named Dolores, who seemed like more like a gentle giant because she wouldn't hurt anybody at all. Deanne at least picked the enemy up and tossed them in the water. Dolores wouldn't even try it. And the other giantess, Matrona, was, I guess, essentially their teacher and all that on how to use their abilities as giants, and was very adamant that they, fight. And actually told Dolores that if she doesn't want to fight, then she has to have a child so that way that child can do the fighting. I was actually wondering how, when it comes to, giant years, the equivalent of human years, how old would those two be? Because it didn't seem like they were that old at that point. I would assume Deanne would be like the equivalent of the teenage years. I don't know about Dolores, because, well, a bit later in the episode, she dies. And Dolores was actually talking to Deanne later about possibly running away and finding somewhere else to live because she didn't want to be, she didn't want to fight. And we actually find out that the chieftain, I guess you would say, the chief of the giant tribe before the current one, was actually Deanne's parents. So that was surprising to me. And apparently, yeah, Deanne ran off again, and she ended up meeting Meliodas for the first time and got her inevitable crush on him when he defended her from some other humans. And invariably kicked their butts at the same time. When she came back, that's when she found out that Dolores had died, because she had been stationed to guard something and some humans showed up, and well, since Dolores doesn't fight, she was killed in the process. And even though Matrona said that her death was still honorable even though she didn't fight, that was when Deanne got mad and hit her. And told her essentially that was her fault that Dolores had died, since if she had taken into account that Dolores didn't want to fight and done something else for her, Dolores might still be there. And Matrona didn't like that she was being, well, talked back to. And they ended up settling things somewhat before the next day, where they ended up going to help some Leonis soldiers. And we actually find out that it's a trap. And those soldiers are trying to kill the two giants with poison arrows. And Matrona actually ended up taking an arrow for Deanne, and we're led to believe that she actually dies. Because it does look like she dies, but you never know with the show. Anyway. This is all happening after Deanne runs off. Because, like I said, she didn't recognize King in his actual form, but in his, like I said, his bigger form. And when he comes back, she's already gone. Because he had gone to tell them that Deanne didn't even remember Meliodas at that point because her memories were gradually being erased. And like I said, Gother actually admits to erasing them, and King hits him, which I do not blame him one bit for that. I wanted to hit him too. But yeah, that's what ended up happening. And Deanne was actually blamed for Matona's death, and that's what gained her her sin, because, like I said, she was framed for it. She didn't actually do anything. And she would have been beheaded, but Meliodas obviously took her in and had her be one of the 7 deadly sins. But that's all a moot at this point, since we don't have Deanne at this point, because she's run off back to the Giants' homeland, which is still in Leonis. Not Leonis, the country of Britannia, but it's a lot further down in the, what was it called, the Megados or something like that, I can't remember. But, yeah. Essentially, that's some of what Deanne's backstory was. Other than what we learned in the first season about her through King's memories, or the flashbacks that they showed of her and King. And I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoyed the reaction, and I will see you all next time.